What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 33 of C4SVillains. I am your host JB and I am here with the Council of Villains, my boys Abe and Steve. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
You know what it is. I brought back the shades because, like I said, I'm gonna make it a staple now. This virtual filter is here to stay. It's here to stay.
Glad to be here. Had to put my hat on because I didn't feel like wearing a bonnet today.
Vash might be here later on in the show. We do miss him. I miss him on these What If reviews, but he's a busy man, you know. He's working really hard following his dream. But the rest of the council is here. We have a packed show for you guys. We're going to be talking some Patty Jenkins news. She had some choice words to say about movies going direct to streaming, and we have some words to say as well. We're going to be talking about Shang-Chi's opening day box office. We're going to be talking about this month's comic book recommendations, and then the main topic, we're going to be doing a deep dive of What If episode 4, and man, was this a depressing one, and definitely my favorite episode of What If so far. It's crazy how it just keeps getting better and better and better and darker and more fucked up. And there are some rumors, some reports that the last couple of episodes within the series may be more interconnected than any of the other episodes that we've seen thus far. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's gonna be really, really sick. Happy to be here with you guys. So let's just dive into it, right? Let's talk about the Patty Jenkins news. She talked about this, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, talking some wild shit about films going direct to streaming. Abe, I know you had some choice words, so I'm gonna pass this to you first.
First of all, just for everybody who doesn't know, Patty Jenkins is not a fan of streaming platforms coming out with original movies. For the most part, she feels like it's hurting cinema. And ever since the pandemic started, we've had pundits on both sides, who are for theater release and who aren't for streaming release and vice versa. However, for her, she feels that let me quote the woman. Let me make sure I quote the woman so I don't get her comments misplaced. So give me a second. She believes that aren't you seeing it? All of the films that streaming services are putting out, I'm sorry, they look like fake movies to me. I don't hear about them. I don't read about them. It's not working as a model for establishing legendary greatness. And look, mind you, she made one of a really good film back in, I think, 07 maybe, or is it 03? I forgot. Early 2000s with Monster featuring Halle Berry. Great job. Great job. The great job. Okay. Halle Berry. I'm thinking, I don't know why I was thinking of Gothica, I think. My fault. Wrong film. But still, Monster was a really good film. Okay. Then she went to TV. She was involved with the Entourage, Arrested Development. Cool. And then she came back and gave us Wonder Woman, #1. Overall, a good film. I enjoyed it. There were some qualms, but overall, still a good film. And then this woman had the audacity, the gall, to give us Wonder Woman 1984. Ladies and gentlemen, I love comic book movies. Even Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk, I still watch and I've rewatched multiple times. Even the Batman and Robin film that most people don't like to talk about.
That film's a gem.
With nipple Batman, George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell and Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. The idiotic
You're never gonna
Bane,
trust me.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze with the great cheesy one-liners.
It's time to chill out.
I've watched that multiple times and I had it on VHS.
It's one of the greatest films of all time. I mean,
you know what? It's a guilty pleasure, right? But ladies and gentlemen, Wonder Woman 1984 is the first, and I hope it is the last comic book film that I will ever see, where I just decided to turn it off 2/3 of the way in and never look back. This woman is talking about legendary greatness. Ma'am, 1984 ain't even gonna be top 200. When it's all said and done, you'll be remembered for that trash film. So how dare you come at directors, come at people getting the opportunity to make films and have it put on streaming platforms, because let's keep in mind, there is a pandemic out there right now that is not getting better. So people aren't wanting to go to the movie theaters anyway, and the movie theaters before the pandemic were slowly dying. Dog, your comments just lack any type of sense. They just, I'm flabbergasted. I'm flummoxed. I'm disgusted. The audacity, the caucasity is ridiculous. So, for me, I just had to get that off, because when I saw that, it made me as mad as Disney's statement to ScarJo. I was like, oh, y'all got the nerve. Like, if she sounded like she didn't know what was going on in the world. And it's crazy too, given her status as a director, as a woman too, and the opportunities that, like, she is a trendsetter. She is a trendsetter in the film industry. And for you to basically just say, look, guys, all y'all that are making films for these streaming platforms such as Netflix, mind you, we've always looked at Netflix as Netflix, you've been shaky. But one thing they will do, they have the balls, they have the brazen, the gall. They have the gall to be like, yo, we're gonna invest money into people's projects and get it out there. Do they miss? Sometimes. Do they hit? They've been hitting with their original films, with their original series. They are giving people opportunities to tell their stories. I mean, mind you, I'm Nigerian. I love Nollywood. Netflix's selection of Nollywood, which is basically Nigerian films, has been really good. King of Boys, they put that on their streaming platform back in 2018. I watched it. As a result, they were like, yo, King of Boys 2, we are going to invest in it. It was supposed to be a film. They made it a 7-part series. I have my my criticisms for it, but it was still a good project. And Patty Jenkins is over here like, oh, just because I haven't heard about it, just because I don't read about it. Well, first of all, my beleaguered friend, acquaintance, you clearly don't deal with content creators at all. I mean, you're not paying attention to the amount of content creation that has gone on through the pandemic. People are reviewing these types of films. People are watching it. Why? Because it's a matter of convenience. I got a smart TV behind me, man. Yo, if it's on streaming platforms, I'm more than likely gonna watch it. I mean, and hey, I'm blessed to be on a platform here, on multiple platforms, where we're likely discuss it at some point if it's worth discussing. And right now, there have been some, Army of the Dead. I had my, I wasn't the biggest fan of Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder, but people were talking about it. We're gonna get we're gonna get some other films that go straight to streaming that aren't gonna be in theaters. People were talking about Tenet. They had their qualms, but people talk about Tenet and they still talk about it today. I mean, one of our co-hosts is a big fan. Has rewatched it several times.
Like 9 times for me.
Yeah, so Patty
Yeah, I'm
Jenkins,
about the same.
I mean, look, man, if you want to talk all that big shit, don't give us a product like Wonder Woman 1984 again, because that John should have never made it to the archives. You know, back in the day when it was like, yo, it's going straight to video on demand, not even DVD, not even theater, it's just randomly like, oh, this movie's going to video on demand. All right. That's what Wonder Woman 1984 should have been. And I should not ever have spent the 2/3 of my time seeing it, because apparently my judgment was good and I missed probably the worst part of the film with the whole cheetah fight. And I'm blessed. I'm glad I didn't have to watch it.
You are blessed. I envy
but
you.
Ultimately, yeah, Patty Jenkins just really pissed me off with that statement. I'm just like, it just seems so elitist.
So I'm gonna come at this from two sides, but I want Steve to go first.
I was about to say, there's too many movies that I feel like have been hits that were straight streaming services. You still got Bird Box, even this Vacation Friends movie that John Cena is in, apparently is a super hit. They just got like too many ones that have been hits that like are really popular movies for you to just be like, they don't feel real to me. Like, that's just, in a sense, it's just disrespectful. Even Kevin Hart has the movie where his where Fatherhood. That's a good movie. There's some pretty good movies that went straight to streaming services. Judas and the Black Messiah.
My God, Judas and the Black Messiah was busting.
There's too many movies that were hits for you to be like, these movies
Was that straight to streaming though, or did it do like the streaming and theaters at the same time?
I'm not sure if it did theaters.
Let's look it up.
I think it was both, if I'm not mistaken.
But but in general, like, I just feel like there's too many movies that were just hits, and they were like really good movies for you to just make statements like that. That just didn't make sense to me. And then turn around and then you put out Wonder Woman 84, like you guys said. It's just she should have said this when the first Wonder Woman came out. Then, you know what I'm saying, you can stand on that. Like, look, I got this track record. Now you put out Wonder Woman 84, you can't. It's not the time. It's not the time to do it. Maybe Wonder Woman 3 comes out and it's a super hit, then you can make that statement. But right now, it's not your place to do that. So for me, I'm just like, I'm not enjoying it.
See, the thing is, right, this is the same thing as the Scorsese thing, where they were asked a question in an interview and she simply answered the question, right? Was it extremely ignorant of the way she answered the question? Yes, but she's just answering a question and she is allowed to feel the way that she feels, right? But it's like, and like Abe was saying, like, Monster is an incredible film. And he was right. It came out in 2003. Charlize Theron was incredible in that film. She earned that Oscar for that film. And because of that film, because of her amazing writing and her directing in that film, and the rest of her career gave her the opportunity to make Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984 suffers from a lot of script issues, and I feel like this is one of those situations where a director wasn't reined in and they needed to be reined in. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe continuity-wise, although cool, no matter how cool this is, continuity-wise, it doesn't really make sense. The way that she figures out how to fly, yet she doesn't use any of these abilities in the Justice League movie. She doesn't use any of these abilities at all. She's obviously stronger in Wonder Woman 1984, doesn't use any of it in Justice League. So there's just certain things, right? The way that Steve Trevor was brought back. And it kind of feels like the film was created as a way just to bring back Steve Trevor because everyone loved the chemistry so much. But I already made a review, 2 parts of that review of Wonder Woman 1984, so go listen to that on the channel, and the second part's on Patreon. But as far as her comments on this, is just extremely ignorant. Like Abe was saying, you have all of these content creators just trying to make something. You have these filmmakers, these writers who are just trying to make something, and where the studios tell them that they can't do it, streaming services are giving them the chance. Like Abe was saying, they have the balls to put millions of dollars into properties to give directors a platform to make the films that they want to make, right? Like you said, Steve, there's so many amazing series and movies that are Netflix originals, Amazon originals, incredible TV shows. How can you sit there as a creator who was once waiting for your shot, telling people, "Oh yeah, I don't even read about it. I don't see it.
That's the one.
They don't matter to me, because I don't see it. It's not in my view, right? Like it's just so ignorant." Right? Like as a filmmaker, you're constantly making movies. So yeah, sure, maybe you're not watching as many films, but maybe the wording should have been different, right? Just to say that you just don't like pay attention to them at all. You should be looking into all things where people like you are given chances to make incredible films.
Yep. And that's the one thing where I would be like, man, if I was in that light, I wouldn't answer any questions without a regular interview because like I need to have a PR team because if I say something, it might not come off perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? It might come out that way. So maybe that's just what it was. Spare the moment question. And then that's how she answered it. And woof, it's coming out shitty. Like it's not coming, it ain't come off good. So
yeah, man, it pissed a lot of people off and for good reason. Again, you have these people and Netflix are giving them a chance, right? If Netflix didn't, even Scorsese had trouble getting a studio to pick up The Irishman. Netflix gave him $200 million to make it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of The Irishman. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as like Goodfellas, Casino, or anything like that. But they put the money in. They're willing to make the movies that people want to see. So you as a filmmaker should be looking into all avenues. You should be looking at other people, trying to raise them up, trying to help them get a chance like you had. But yeah.
Hey, isn't the Many Saints of Newark, isn't that going straight to streaming?
Yeah, it's a Stars HBO.
HBO Max.
HBO original,
it's not coming out in theaters, right?
No, it's a
TV
series.
I thought it was a film. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ma Rainey that came out just not too long ago.
Oh wait, no, it's a 2 hour. It's a movie. It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay.
Yeah,
I want it to be a series.
I wish she would tell Sopranos fans that shit ain't gonna be legendary. That shit ain't gonna be busted. Nobody gonna be talking about the Many Saints of Newark. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say you had Ma Rainey's Black Bottom that came out. You had a lot of movies that came out.
One Night in Miami on Amazon Prime.
You have a lot of movies.
Five Bloods. Hey, if you haven't seen Gunpowder Milkshake, please.
Gunpowder Milkshake.
So good, bro.
There's so many movies that were good, and it's like for you to just
great originals. And then
So
again,
good.
like Abe said, as a woman, right? These streaming services are giving other women a platform where the studios are not giving them a platform. You can't just, I mean, again, right? She was asked this question in an interview and she just answered the question. And of course we have time to sit and analyze her words. So it is what it is, but it just comes off really ignorant. Yeah.
I just saw a mercenary was saying, "Are we going to talk about Shang-Chi?" I was answering this question.
Oh yeah. Just a couple minutes, non-spoiler. We're going to talk about full spoilers next week on the show because Steve hasn't seen it yet. Vash hasn't seen it yet. So we're going to wait a little bit. I want to see it at least 2 more times so I can do like a deep dive spoilers review. You guys know how I like to do things. Next thing up, we're going to talk about Shang-Chi. So last night, Thursday, opening day, 8.8 million. Not bad, right?
Not bad.
In one night.
Well deserved.
Yeah. So Abe, I want to kick it to you. Just quick non-spoiler thoughts on Shang-Chi.
We've been honestly saying it for a while that the fight cinematography was going to be flames. It did not disappoint. But one thing I was not ready for was just how visually appealing this film was. I mean, it was a beautifully done movie. The use of colors, use of the scenes, especially pay attention to the background scenes. There was you know exactly what I'm talking about. That one fight with the lighting, my eyes were very well fed. They were very well fed, and y'all know me. We like to crack that Abe don't like comedy in his shit. The comedy in this one, it felt right. It didn't feel forced. I was laughing several times, and surprisingly, I went to earlier showing today, a matinee showing. There was a good grip of people in theaters, so we was laughing at all of us were laughing together. It felt good. It felt good, and so I was very happy to see it. It deserved the 8.8 mil opening day, and with this being Labor Day weekend, I truly expect it to do well. Truly expect it to do well. Can't wait to do a deep dive next week.
Oh yeah, man, I love this movie. I knew I would. Seeing all of the reviews on Twitter and on people's websites, like everyone loved this film, talked about the martial arts, talked about how great the fight sequences were, the cinematography. And I saw it today at 3 and it really didn't disappoint, man. Like these fight sequences, and people say like this movie has the best fight sequences in the MCU by far, hands down, right?
Easily. We
Like for
always knew
me,
it would.
yeah, and we knew it would, right? Simu Liu is amazing in the film. Aquafina was actually one of my favorite parts. I thought I thought she was really great in the film. She's actually a really good actress. It's weird how like comedians are able to tap into like dramatic performances really well.
Yeah.
So I feel like she does really good in those emotional beats in being Shang-Chi's friend and confidant, right? So that's really good. The friendship is really good. The relationship with their dad. Oh my god. That relationship, it's so fucked up. Really interesting, really deep. So you guys are going to love that. For me, this film is like if someone took Crouching Tiger and put it through an MCU lens, that's this fucking movie in the best ways possible. Again, the cinematography. There's this one clip of two people fighting in the forest. I'm not gonna say anything who's fighting or whatever. This scene with two people fighting in the forest, it just instantly reminded me of Crouching Tiger. That's how amazing it is. Bro, I was losing my shit. My jaw was on the floor watching these fight sequences happen. This other scene that's in the trailer. They're fighting on the side of this glass building. Bro, it's insane. Just thinking about the way they shot this. It's nuts, bro. This film is absolutely incredible. There's only one thing that kind of bugged me, and I'll get into it when we talk about our spoilers review next week, but incredible movie. Go see Shang-Chi in theaters this weekend. I want this film to blow up this opening weekend, so please, if you are here, go see it. I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah,
Steve, I hope you go see it tonight.
I'm going to see it at 11:15, so in 3 hours.
Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Aquafina because of her use of basically using Black culture and then whatnot to really make her platform. But I mean, hey, she did her thing in this one. Like I was trying to be like, nah, I'm not about to root for Aquafina. Nah, I'm not about to really enjoy her performance. But she did well. She did well. And I mean, makes sense. This is her culture. This is her lane. And hey, now she's a part of MCU. So you know, welcome to the MCU. Basically, we're gonna see her. I assume we'll probably see her more. So again, definitely a film worth seeing. If you are comfortable enough going to theaters, definitely do that. It's worth it.
Oh, stay for the mid-credit scene and the end credit scene. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, the comedy. Oh my god,
bro. Yeah. So stay for those two things, and yeah, like it's just so good. I wish I could talk about it right now, but it's so good. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but yeah, definitely go see it. Like the use of the 10 rings and how they've tied it to the MCU. It's honestly a lot more interesting than how it is in the comics. For me personally, I like the way that they've changed it for the MCU. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, and it takes the right person to be able to wield the 10 rings. So it's really interesting. So yeah, can't wait to do a deep dive on that one. So we're gonna move on to our comic book recommendations for this month. So Abe, I'm gonna kick it to you first.
Man, look, you guys, you know, I love my gore, I love my horror, I love my psychological elements. If you haven't read Absolute Carnage, by all means, please go read that. I mean, it's just Cletus Cassidy as Carnage is one of my favorites. Carnage is actually my favorite symbiote, and it has always been ever since its inception. And Absolute Carnage does such a great job of capturing just the psychotic nature of the serial killer known as Cletus Cassidy, and just the right amount of despair, the right amount of like, oh, yo, they may not make it, especially since it leads up to King in Black, which was a very well done, great Marvel event. And then, of course, we get Extreme Carnage out of that, where we, have one shots into the other symbiotes, such as Scream, Phage, Riot, Lasher. So yeah, definitely go ahead, go read Absolute Carnage. I think it's 5 issues, 5 or 6 issues. I read the trade back, and there are definitely a lot of tie-ins into it. But Absolute Carnage was just so fun to read, and so the artwork itself was also really pleasing. I just love everything. Red is such a good color. Red is such a good color.
Especially on a comic page, dude. It
Oh
just,
yeah,
man.
it is. Oh my goodness. There was some panels that I wanted to post. It was just like, oh, look at, you know what? I will go back and post them. Just look at the artwork. Look at how they use red, they use black, and I mean, hey, shout out to Eddie Brock as Venom. Marvel Comics has done a very good job of really revitalizing that character and just making him so much better than he ever was. Eddie Brock now in the Marvel comic universe is so dope. I mean, he's not the perfect character, and that's what makes him so dope to me. Man, Absolute Carnage. And also, that Carnage symbiote, when it bonded with Miles Morales Spider-Man, oh my god,
Spoilers.
that boy, woo. Yeah, that's the only spoiler I'll give you. But the bondage, woo, that boy was looking freaky. But definitely go read you some Absolute Carnage.
Yeah, I second that. Absolute Carnage is incredible. Artwork is amazing. Great story too. Steve, what you got?
Oh, for me, I just had a guess. For me, I'm gonna recommend The Joker Wears the Mask. So this is basically Dark Horse Comics with a crossover of DC Comics, and it's The Mask. And the character from The Mask is basically the Joker finds the mask and he puts on the mask, and it's just all the abilities of the mask, but you got the fucking menacing mind of the Joker, and it's crazy. The whole thing is not one of those comics that's supposed to be taken serious, obviously, but it is absolutely bananas. Just seeing all the crazy shit that the Joker can come up with already, but now he's got pretty much unlimited power. And it's really fucking good. If you guys want to just read something that's just fun, something that you just really want to see how fun and how loony and crazy it can get. And he's just giving Batman hell throughout the entire comic. It's hilarious. That's what I recommend. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read it, but I definitely recommend that one as well. My recommendation is going to be Blade Runner 2019 from Titan Comics. I'm a huge Blade Runner fan. Blade Runner is my favorite movie of all time. If you haven't seen Blade Runner Blackout, it's a 15-minute.
It's not Batman and Robin. It's not.
It's
okay.
not.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
I think that movie's just so absurd that it's just fucking awesome.
It's a guilty pleasure. I don't know why people don't hate on it. It's enjoyable. It's a good watch.
It's just so terrible. All you can do is enjoy it. But it follows a Blade Runner named Ash. She is investigating the disappearance of the daughter and mother of a business tycoon in Los Angeles, and crazy shit ensues as she does her investigation. I don't want to give anything away. This story is really, really good. Like I was saying, if you haven't seen Blade Runner Blackout on Crunchyroll, it's like 15 minutes. It's a really, really cool interconnected story that actually comes up again in Blade Runner 2049 when they talk about the blackout of 2022. It's really, really cool. There's also some shorts as well with like Jared Leto that interconnect with the movie. So yeah, definitely check out this comic. The artwork is really, really good. It was written by Michael Green and Mike Johnson. Artwork by Andres Guinaldo. Check it out. Incredible comic. There's a whole run from 2019, then it actually goes into 2029 as well. So definitely check it out. Great place to start. Have you read any Blade Runner comics?
Not to be honest, I'm not familiar with Blade Runner at all. I haven't even seen the movies. I just know everybody loves Blade Runner, and I'm just like, bet, but I never really made the time for it. I really should. So I'll probably start with the comics. So let me go put that on my list of on that comic list
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got, and
So
careful for spoilers.
at least watch the first movie first and then go into the comics.
Okay, bet.
And you have to be in the mood to watch it. This is a movie that requires multiple viewings for appreciation.
Oh,
Because
really?
there's shit you're gonna pick up on every single viewing that you didn't notice before.
Really? Okay. All right, no problem
Yeah, and those are my favorite movies, and that's why it's like my favorite movie. You have to watch the final cut. No other cut exists. Only the final cut. It is
Now
the
you talking
only
about
one
the
that matters.
OG Blade Runner and not 2049, right?
Yeah. The original.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the original first, and then you can get into the comics, and then you can watch 2049 because it's an incredible sequel, like one of the best sequels to an original ever made, in my opinion.
That's high praise. You know, when JB endorses something, you gotta give it its due diligence and go peep that shit. So I definitely will.
Yeah, man. There's not a lot of movies where it's like the original and the sequel are both incredible, or maybe the sequel's even better at times. Like this is like an alien situation for me, like Terminator T2 type situation where it's like these are just two incredible films, like
Ooh,
ridiculous.
Judgment Day was good.
It's my
Judgment
shit,
Day was
bro.
good. Yeah, Judgment Day was a good sequel. Honestly, I like Judgment Day more than Terminator 1.
Me too.
In all honesty,
Me too.
T2 was
And
really
I
strong.
like Aliens more than the first Alien.
Facts. That's facts. That's
Because I
facts.
mean, the first Alien is an amazing horror movie, right? It's this great, like, man, it's incredible. But for me, I love the action with the horror elements, and I felt like Ripley was more in her element
Yeah,
in Aliens.
she was. And
Like,
I have a thing for is it I've been saying her name wrong for
Sigourney
27
Weaver.
years. Yeah, I always said Sojourner.
Uh,
And it wasn't until this year that I was corrected for the first time in my life, and it's Sigourney.
yeah.
Regardless, I love that woman, and I fell in love with her as Ripley. That was the first time I ever met her, and I'm like, oh yeah. So I appreciate the Alien franchise in general, and I need to dive into the comics now that they're part of the Marvel universe. Hey,
Bro,
hey!
those first 6 issues are ridiculous.
Bet that.
Like,
Bet that.
definitely read it. That's gonna be one of my comic book recommendations. When the run's finished, I want to see if it's really good first. If it ends really good, I'm gonna recommend it.
Bet that. Bet that. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So, let's move into our main topic of the evening. We're gonna be talking deep spoilers for What If episode 4. Episode 4. Like I was saying, these episodes just keep getting better and better and better. It's absolutely fucking crazy how better these episodes get. This episode is entitled What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands, right? And from the moment I saw the title, I was like, fuck, he's gonna lose Christine, and it's going to fucking suck, bro. But what I did not expect was to essentially have the Flashpoint paradox in a What If episode. So let's get into it. Let's get into just general thoughts on this episode. Abe, I'm going to start with you. What are your general thoughts on What If episode 4?
It's honestly, we gotta hand it to Marvel Studios for everything that they've done. Um, every episode has been good, but they've also been building up more and more. Like we got when we got the Captain Carter one, really good happy ending story. Then we got T'Challa one, feel good moment for us as big Chadwick Boseman fans. Then we got the Loki invasion, which was like the darkest one at that point. It was the darkest one. And it was like, all right, not everything ends with a happy ending, really. And then we got this.
Definitely not this episode.
Yeah, and then we and how it started off with the Watcher saying like, hey, so far you've seen, how one choice can lead to new heroes and whatnot. But what happened when a good intention choice actually leads you the opposite path? And unlike the T'Challa episode where remember how it ended, it was like, hey, yo, so because T'Challa was the one that was picked up instead of Peter Quill, the end of that world is nigh. But then that was left open, right? This time it was like, nah, we are going to conclude and show you actual depth of a universe. It was very well done. And also, okay, let me just say this now. Talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, I know people are like, oh yeah, that could be, while yes, I won't close the door on that being Mephisto. Let's focus on one criticism that people kept saying. Strange would never, if you watch this episode, it basically confirmed that yes, Strange would, because of something that was said that we'll get into later. But Strange himself said that hey, you're so arrogant, you must fix everything. What did Peter Parker come to him to do? To fix something. So what did Doctor Strange do? Yeah, I'm gonna fix it because I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, baby. I'll fix everything. Arrogance is the biggest quality of the Sorcerer Supreme. So hey, I hope now people can stop saying like, oh yeah, no, Doctor Strange would never do that. We just saw that yes, Doctor Strange would do that. We got about 30 plus minutes of Doctor Strange doing that shit. All right, so
yeah, and
great episode.
Just to piggyback off of what you were saying real quick before we dive into the episode, again, I think people are finding different things to like make it seem like it's not actually Stephen Strange, right? Like I was watching a video earlier, someone was saying, oh, if you look at his hands in No Way Home, they're not even shaking. They don't look scarred. So it can't be Doctor Strange. It must be Mephisto or someone else impersonating Doctor Strange. I'm like, no, this is his arrogance. This is his arrogance and his need to fix everything. He is now the Sorcerer Supreme. Like I said on the last episode, like this is a guy who became a surgeon to play God. Now he's the Sorcerer Supreme and the most powerful Sorcerer Supreme. This is his arrogance. This is him, his need to fix everything. And he's using Peter Parker as a vehicle to fix something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's him, right? And like you said, Abe, we're going to get deeper into this episode that proves that Doctor Strange would go down that path and it truly is him. And if it's not in the movie, I'll say I'm wrong, because that'll be really cool if it ends up being like I don't know, not necessarily Mephisto or like Nightmare or some shit. I'll say I'm wrong, but for now, I wholeheartedly believe that is Stephen Strange and his arrogance.
Easily.
Yeah. So much like the movie, the opening scene depicts from the movie where Stephen Strange is driving in his Lambo on this road, right? But in this universe, he's with Christine, right? He tries to go around this truck, pulls back, and then the car gets hit from behind. They go off the road. Christine dies. Instant sadness, right? Like, it's really, really fucked up. Like, I knew it was going to happen, and I still wasn't prepared for when it happened, right? It was really, really sad for him to literally lose his heart. And then we figure out that this is the reason why he goes to Cosmotage. I know I just said that incorrectly, but he goes there to learn the mystic arts to try to find a way to fix it, right? Because he has to fix everything. So, Abe, what did you feel about that twist? Instead of him losing his hands and trying to burn through money, trying to figure out a way to get his hands back, what do you feel about him switching it up so that he could bring his heart back?
Well, honestly, I thought it was to be honest, I would have preferred this as his origin story, in the comics and in the MCU, because it made it more relatable. This is, everybody can relate to grief in some form or the other. And they did a very good job with this. Like, he was madly in love, with Christine, lost her that night, and that's what drove him to become the Sorcerer Supreme. But even more so, what I liked is that while up to a certain point, up until the next few minutes that we'll get to, he still followed the same path, but the biggest difference was that the loss was still in his mind. There were moments where he's just like, hey, maybe I could, maybe this is what I started out to do, but he still became the hero that we knew to this day as the Sorcerer Supreme. So I thought it was very well done by them. Very easily relatable, and it set up perfectly what we ended up getting for the rest of the episode, which is just like, hey man, I saw that anime lately quoted a line that we'll get to later. It's like, whoo, man, can we relate to that, John? For real, for real. Can we relate to that, John? For real, for real. I was very pleased, very pleased.
Yeah, man, it's legit like soul crushing watching him
Mm-hmm.
like go through this entire process. So Wong warns him not to do this, much like
Mm-hmm.
in No Way Home, right? Because Wong knows him. He knows what Strange is gonna
Again,
do.
it's like you can't say that Strange wouldn't do this, but we have multiple iterations that Strange would do this. All
Yeah.
right.
The thing is, it's like he's the keeper of the Eye of Agamotto, right? And we'll get into this later on, but he should have known that this was the wrong thing to do, right? But he was doing it. He thought he was doing the right thing for the woman that he loved, right? He thought that, you know what? I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. I can be selfish and do this one thing just to make myself happy, right? And he just stares at the Eye of Agamotto, and Wong knows what he's going to do and tries to pull him away from it, but he doesn't. Goes back in time, and then we figure out that her death is a fixed point in time. That was even more soul crushing. What did you think about
Mm-hmm.
learning that her death was a fixed point?
Yo, I mean, after the first couple of times, it really set in as an absolute point, and it's just like, dog. And one universe is you losing your use of your hands that really did it, but in this one, it's undeniable because some things are just always meant to be, and seeing the different attempts really just drove it home how much he loved Christine. I mean, he went a different route. She still died. He didn't go to the
Yeah, he
event.
stood her up.
She still died.
The
Yeah,
building blew up.
he stood her up. She still died. They went to pizza. She still died. She drove. She still died. It was like no matter what you do, no matter how many times you try, you are not going to escape this because, hey, this is what sets you on the path to being the Sorcerer Supreme, the hero, the greatest sorcerer of them all. And it's just like, damn, it really gets you thinking. I mean, is it worth it? Is this
Yeah,
is
man.
this is the price you have to pay. I mean, you didn't know it, but now you really know this is the price you pay for this path. And then it's just like, man, I'd rather my life have been different. But that we learned that, hey, if you try to fix it and you never become this, the world as we know it ends. Is
Yeah.
is your love really worth that?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? That we have this one version of him that would go to this extent, right? So let's get into like the biggest part of this episode, right? Where the ancient one comes to him, reveals to him that this is an absolute point, and then he figures out that it can be done again, right? He figures out it can be done again, and he decides to go centuries, hundreds of years back in time so that he can go to the library of Cagliostro in order to figure out how he was able to erase an absolute point. And again, he was warned that this has the potential to create a paradox that will destroy the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not a possibility. It will destroy the universe. But again, Stephen Strange, his arrogance leads him to believe it doesn't matter. I can fix it. If I'm the greatest Sorcerer Supreme in history, it doesn't matter what happens, I can fix it. Right? So, in him going back in time, we figure out that the Ancient One was able to also use a spell using magic from the Dark Dimension to split him into two people, splitting into two timelines taking place in the same universe. So, what did you think about that reveal? And what did you think about, and we'll get into the Library of Cagliostro.
Uh,
Cagliostro.
so the ancient one doing that, I thought it was like, okay, because I'm wondering how who's gonna stop him. Like, if the ancient one can't do it, what, we gonna get Mordu's gonna pull up and be like, hey, I got this. It's like, we haven't seen him. Is it gonna be Wong? We know Wong is not that powerful. So it showed that the ancient one was thinking, and even though we know that it was a big risk, a big and dangerous risk, if anybody's going to beat Doctor Strange, it's going to be Doctor Strange. But I also like the idea of, I've always been a fan of the idea of like your good side versus your evil side, And y'all know I'm a big Superman fan, and they did it really well in Smallville with the red kryptonite, right? The red kryptonite is what made Clark Kent a badass, a total bad boy. So the Ancient One basically splitting, unbeknownst to that, splitting them, and you have the one who's just like, look, you know what, Wong, you're right. I gotta move on. It's been 2 years now. I gotta move on. So let me not continue down this path. And you have the other one who froze time around him for centuries because he was so obsessed, needed to really figure out this issue. I thought it was very well done. I really enjoyed that plot point. I really enjoyed that development. And it got me so invested because I said, all right, now we're going to see Strange versus Strange. We're going to see good versus evil. This internal conflict, because that's something that honestly the MCU shows have been doing, the Marvel shows have been doing a great job of in Phase 4. That inner conflict that you constantly face. And we got it a lot with Loki. And now, in this one episode, we're getting it with one of the most arrogant, and one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel or Marvel lore. So I appreciate the Ancient One for doing that. She did something right. She did her thing. Just hey, I also am very glad how it ended too. I'm glad that they didn't try to be like, all right, let's wrap it up with a nice bow, throw some glitter on it, everybody's happy. Like, nah, especially well, I'll talk on that when we get to the library.
Get there. But yeah, man, like you said, I did not think that it would end this bleak, this dark, man. But yeah, we'll get there. So he gets to the library, right? And he's looking through all of these different spell books. And we see the book that Caecilius used, the book in the page that Caecilius tore out of the book in the Doctor Strange movie in order to use magic from the Dark Dimension, right? Really prolific magic from the Dark Dimension. So he's reading the script, and he realizes that he needs immense power in order to use this one spell, in order to change an absolute point, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go through this, right? Let's go through all of the different beings, and we realize this dude, first of all, he used the time stone to freeze himself in time so that he can stay this same age for centuries, so that he can absorb the life force of as many powerful beings as possible in order for him to have enough power to make this spell. So we've seen all types of different things. We've seen these weird bat creatures, like a lion creature, like a really cool crow design, like a snake. And then, right, in a flash, we see a couple different people, right? And I didn't notice it the first time, but the second time I was like, wait, I need to see what's in between these flashes, because one of them kind of looks like Mephisto, right? That was the first one that I really saw. I was like, shit, I need to go back and slow-mo through all of this. So there's one of them that looks like Mephisto, right? And then there's another one that looks like he also absorbed Dormammu, bro, which is absolutely insane to think that Doctor Strange had so much power at one point to where he was able to absorb Dormammu's life force. Hey, what do you think about the library sequence?
Yo, I thought, man. All right, first of all, I laughed when he first got his cape. So on the second successful attempt, he's like, nah, I draw the line at Bug. So I'm gonna take your cape. I'm gonna send you back. I was like, oh, yeah, I love that's how he got the cape. I see you draw the line somewhere. But the constant just consuming of mystical beings, of powerful beings, and the transformation that was happening to him. Like, we saw the Dormammu one, and I was like, baby, I said in the chat, baby, that's Darth Maul. That's what that man looked like. But it was so pleasing just seeing all the different magical beings he kept calling forth. And I was like, yo, is there going to be something that I explicitly recognize? On first watch, there wasn't any that I was just like, oh, I've seen that somewhere before and whatnot. But, someone will break it down even further, and I'm sure JB, you probably got some gems in there. But I just enjoyed just the effort he was putting in. Again, this man is committed, and there's a thin line between when it comes to love, between devotion and delusion. And it does more than break your heart, it breaks your mind, right? And just at some point we were just like, all right, let's see how much time has passed. And you saw the cycling of the sun and the moon, and it's just like, okay, I was thinking this, all right, it's a matter of couple days, a few days,
couple weeks, yeah.
I'm thinking like, and then it's like, hey, he's like, oh shit, I don't know how to say his name, but I'm gonna call him the curator of the library.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'm like, hey, yo, did one of them get free? Like, oh boy got hurt and you ain't even realize? And it's like, nah,
Yeah, he's like old as shit too.
Yeah, you stopped time for several centuries. I chose to live on. I'm like, hey, yo, he been at it for centuries. Like, it really put into scope how much of absorbing of magical energy, of power he's been doing. For him to be doing this for centuries, I'm just like, yo, how many cosmic beings, how many beings from multiple universes have you consumed? How much power is within you for several centuries? You just constantly absorbing, day in, day out, day and night, never taking breaks. I'm like, bro, because he said, let's start off small and then let's go bigger and bigger. And I'm like, bro, oh my goodness, that was ridiculous to me. But again, it just showed how devoted he was to accomplish his goal. And again, this is a very Doctor Strange thing to do. A very Doctor Strange thing to is, hey, despite his faults, when he says he's gonna do something, he gonna do it by any means possible. He's gonna put in the work, he's gonna put in the energy, he gonna do that shit. So man, I just thought it was crazy. And again, I loved how every time he absorbed a new being, it changed him. It changed him for a moment. You saw when he absorbed the winged creature.
Yeah,
he grew wings. You, of course, with Dormammu, the face change. When he absorbed the snake, he got snake-like. It was just really, really, really well done. I just loved the animations of it all. It just was aesthetically pleasing for me.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. Like you said, right? Think about all of the other cosmic beings that he absorbed in order to get to this point, right? If he was able to absorb Dormammu, like, who else, right? Dormammu, and we have no confirmation on these things, right? But it looked like Dormammu, right? The skin, the eyes, Mephisto. It looked just like Mephisto. So I mean, Nightmare, right? The Beyonders. Who knows? Like, who knows? I mean, I highly doubt he was able to get to the Beyonders, because I mean, I don't know, right? Who knows?
Yeah, like
Eternals. Like, who knows?
I would think like, yo, did he absorb some Celestials? Because at some point, you gotta absorb Celestials. They got the energy you need. They a good battery source. But and hey, he's been at it for centuries. So at this point, I'm just thinking he's absorbed any and all things. Like Thanos would be impressed. Thanos definitely would be impressed by, oh man, look at this guy. He's man, this man can really wipe out a universe. Look at him go.
Yeah,
it was just ridiculous.
So, but before this episode happened, I was like, how do we get two Doctor Stranges in like one universe, right? So I was like, does he like split himself apart and like make the evil one make the choice that he couldn't or some shit like that? Like, I had no idea, but this makes so much sense, right? So we get the scene where the Ancient One explains like, yo, this is what I did the moment when you went back in time. I split the timeline in half so that both of you can exist in the exact same timeline, because only you can defeat the other, right? So what did you think of the Strange versus Strange fight? Because I thought it was dope. The Cloaks had their own fight. Like, oh, yeah. Sick.
Even before that, I enjoyed how the good Strange was like, that sounds really stupid and dangerous. And I'm like, hey, look, pot call kettle. You feel me? Like, right? Pot call kettle. But I enjoyed that. And then as he was preparing with Wong, that dialogue between him and Wong too, I appreciate it, because Wong is like, hey, do you even want to do this? Like, didn't you love Christine? And he's like, I kind of have to. And at the very least, it saves you. As Wong himself was basically disintegrating too. And I'm like, damn, you know what? This version of Strange really understood it. He really understood it. And so when they finally got to fighting each other, whoo, boy, that was busting. That fight was really good. It was really well animated. The capes fight each other, especially when Evil Strange's cape was like, "Oh, you trying to get past me? You trying to get past me?" Nah. I was like, "Oh, look at this. Look at the capes really go." And finally, after they use all their magic, I enjoyed them throwing hands. It was like, all right, we just gonna start throwing punches, and especially when Evil Strange was knocking off the sigils,
the protection
the incantations,
spells,
the spells off him. I was like, oh, I'm feeling this, and it just really caught again. It did a great job of really showing, like, yo, this is what Strange is, how far he's willing to go in his grief. He doesn't care about reason, even listening to himself. He's like, you don't understand. Like, we love her. No one else understands what we feel for Christine. And it's like, yeah, but look what you're doing. Hey, that don't matter.
Yeah, it's not worth Christine the lives of everyone in the universe.
Yeah, but Evil Strange was like, well, as subtitles call it, Strange Supreme was like, no. We do this all for Christine. Christine is our world. She is who we desire the most. She grounds us. And hey, let's not front here. How many of us have been in relationships or had those people or moments or situations in our lives where we're like, yo, we would do anything. I mean, hey, fortunately for us, as far as we know, none of us have magical capabilities, so we don't have to take it too far.
Yeah, not that I would reveal on a podcast.
Yeah, definitely not. Like, what? I have a symbiote? Oh my gosh, I wouldn't tell y'all that. I mean, come on. Anyway, I just, it did a great job of being realistic to me, and the fight, just seeing how far both strangers were willing to go. I just enjoyed it. I really was a fan of the mental aspect of it, the emotional gravity of the situation. It was very, 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 very captivating, and I didn't think that an episode could top the Chadwick Boseman episode. And even though the Loki episode was good, but I'm just like, yo, every episode just does keep getting better and better. It really does keep getting better and better. And it's just like, all right, bet. What if, yo, I don't have to worry about the MCU for a while. Phase 4 is in good hands, baby. Phase 4 is in good hands, and this fight was
Yeah, man. I've said this 1,000 times on this show and other shows. Like, to the people that actually thought that the MCU wouldn't be as good as with Thanos, like, you don't read comics. You have no idea what's out there, what's possible, what
Thanos
we're about
is an
to
afterthought at this point. Like, who gives a damn about that scrotum looking guy? Come on now. We got so much more going for us right now. Like, do you see the stories that we're getting from the shows? Do you see the stuff? Just what if has done is shown you exactly just how much Marvel can do with all their characters and how it's still all canon. Just look at the amount, like, people can finally understand there was so much stories to be told. Like, we can have a whole universe where Captain Carter is the leading Avenger. We can have a whole universe where, I mean, it won't be as entertaining in terms for those who really like action, where Star-Lord is T'Challa, because T'Challa just talk no jutsu you out of committing your evil acts. Then we got a one where, yo, what if the Avengers got taken out before the Avengers came about, and we got hit with a Loki invasion off rip, dog? And then you got another one where, hey, Doctor Strange lost his wife, and then he decided to be like, hey, it's time for Flashpoint, baby, and keep doing it and destroy the universe you are currently in. There is so much creativity Oh my goodness, how can you not enjoy it as just comic book fans in general? How can you look at Phase 4 and be like, oh man, this shit is meh, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home is about to carry this?
Bro,
What?
dude, all film is subjective, but when I hear shit like that, it's like, dude, what? Like, I've seen people on Twitter that think the MCU shit. Like the only good movie is like Infinity War and Endgame, and it's like, that's it. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Like, there's so much good shit. But Steve's back. Steve's back. I want to toss it to you. I want to jump back to the library of Cagliostro, and I want to get your thoughts on like Doctor Strange going back in time to that library, and all of the souls of all of the different demons and all the different creatures that he was absorbing in order to get his immense power. So I want you to have some time to talk about that.
Man, so sorry I got cut out, but man,
You
it
good,
was
bro?
just really, really dope just watching him like absorb the power. And he starts off with the little gnome. He's like, all right, we're gonna start here. And he starts off with the gnome, and then he gets the beetle, but he just takes his cloak, and then he's just like slowly he's working his way up into getting stronger and stronger. And then I don't know if you guys talked about it, but like what I saw, I was like, yo, is that Dormammu? Like his face looked like Dormammu, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then the fucking dragon that he swallowed up, that was the dragon that was in the Shang-Chi trailer. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like,
Is it?
yeah,
Like, it's possible. I won't tell you the name of it.
yeah,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
is it possible? It could be. I mean, there's a lot of dragons in the Marvel universe, but I couldn't help but draw that connection. I was like, let me not jump on that. You know, that'd be wild, but it's possible.
I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, so I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's a super entity, but I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. That's the dragon from that trailer. And then is even the big monster that he's trying to get it with the tentacles and stuff. That's the one from episode 1.
Yeah.
With Captain Carter. So I'm just like, okay, so we've seen in the trailer that Captain Carter and Doctor Strange are in the same like universe, like they're having a conversation. And so now we've tied those tentacles with the tentacles on this. So I'm like, okay, so clearly we're gonna get these two characters. They must be somewhat in the same universe or whatever. So these characters are gonna cross paths, I think. But other than that, like I just thought that was just dope. Just the fact that he could absorb Dormammu, I was like, yo, he had to be working for like a while to get Dormammu. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Like, just the fact that this dude was like doing this for hundreds of years, Because we were talking about when he comes out, and he talks to the curator, which is what we're gonna call him, because I can't think of his name right now. But when he talks to me, he's all gray and shit. I'm like, what the hell happened? He's been in there for centuries. It's crazy how much time he spent. And we were talking about the potential of like how many other cosmic beings did he absorb, right? Did he get to, if he was able to get to who we're assuming is Nightmare, who we're assuming is Dormammu, could he have gotten to like Nightmare, the Eternals, like the Celestials? Like, what? Like,
who did he absorb? Yeah, that's crazy. and it was crazy when he he's is someone there? Who is there?
Yeah.
When
the Watcher?
I was like,
yeah,
I was like, yo, he can hear the Watcher. I was like, so he's become that powerful where he can hear him. And I was all like, yo, that's crazy. And that was the first time he did it. And then later on, he has like a full-on conversation with them. I'm like, yo.
And that conversation was so important too, because it's something that he said. Sorry to interrupt you, Steve, but it was just like, he's like, yo, you can fix this. You're a god. And the Watcher's like, I'm not a god. Neither are you. And even if, I wish I could, but I can't, because you already know, as you can see clearly, how messing with time makes things worse. Even Strange Supreme, how many times have you tried to save Christine? How many times have you broken this universe? Hey, one more is I can't do it. I can't do it. I just thought that dialogue, this is the perfect character to be able to interact with the Watcher too. This is the ideal character to do so. And I was just like, man, that joint was heavy. It was heavy. I appreciated that moment.
Yeah, man. I love that this episode truly explores the consequences of our actions, you know?
I'm really big on like Groundhog Day and like movies like that give that thing. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like all the different aspects of him like trying to save Christine. He was like, all right, so this time I'm gonna go around the truck. This time I'm not gonna go around the truck. All right, so we're gonna just eat a pizza at the diner. And they still like somebody comes in and robs the diner and shoots her. It's just always like he even stood her up one time.
Yeah.
And she still, and it was like it was inevitable. And Doctor Strange, I guess one half of him realized like it's inevitable. I can't do anything, and he moved on. And then the evil one just was like, no, I need her, you know. So it was crazy to see like the whole play of it, and even I don't know how far y'all are into the review.
We were talking about the Strange versus Strange fight.
Oh, okay, so he even tries to stop himself. Like your own self is coming to stop you. Do you not understand that you need to stop what you're doing?
He's
like
already come this far.
Like your own self is like, hey, buddy, that's enough, and you still don't want to stop. It's just that's crazy to me, and I really appreciated this episode because there was no happy ending. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Because the first 3 episodes is kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? There's some upside to the end of each episode.
Not really.
well, the T'Challa episode, there was no upside. I was like, well, since Ego's about to destroy this earth, but hey, that's a story for another day. We don't need to stress about that.
It's pretty, but you have that joyous moment with T'Challa.
Overall, still, yeah.
Hidden with his family and his father and everything like that reunites. And then even with with the Avengers, it's like, okay, well, I mean with Samuel Jackson, he's getting Captain America and Captain Marvel.
It's so like, all right, they got a chance.
Yeah, there's some upside, but this one is just like straight up like, no.
Nah.
We're just gonna let you know that everything ain't all happy-go-lucky. And I appreciated that because it was like every universe can't be just saved. It can't just be wonderful and things like that. So I appreciated that they did that like that.
There were two things I want to touch on. One of them that I glossed over, that I just forgot to mention, was when he finally resurrected Christine and just how he looked, all the combination of creatures, and how Christine was freaked out her mind, rightfully so, freaked out her mind. He's like,
she sees him for the monster he's become.
Yes, Christine, you're back. I did this all for you. If we can be together again. And she's like, yo, I mean, this man had tentacles coming out here every type of way, wings, tails, eyes, mouth, fangs. It's just like, bro, not this woman waking up from basically death, and that's the first thing she sees. Whoo, child. But then at the end, like you mentioned, Steve, him just being in this like this small little spear, holding Christine in his arms, regretting all he's done. It's like, yo, like he begged the Watcher, like, hey, punish me, don't do this to Christine, don't do this to the universe. And watching the love of your life, who you spent centuries trying to bring back, just disappear in your arms, and you're left alone, and not even in the world, you're left on a rock.
Yeah,
on a
just
rock.
You in this universe forever. Nothingness alone.
Like, yo, was it worth it?
Yeah, man. Like just to take it a few steps back, like he's talking to the Watcher when the Watcher like appears to him fully, and he's asking the Watcher, "You're a god. Like, please, Watcher, fix it." And the Watcher's like, "The same way you fixed Christine." I was like, "God damn, bro!" But he needed it though. He needed it. It's like, dude, you've really, really fucked up. You were warned that by doing this, it would cause a paradox that would collapse the entire universe. You were warned. This is not something that you can just fix.
And you didn't care.
And he, like, when he saw the Watcher like that was the first time we actually got to see some flesh. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't just a facade, in the background anymore or a silhouette. We actually got to see like his skin color. Like we got to see some stuff. So that was showing you how powerful Doctor Strange really was getting. Like for him to actually visually see him, physically see him, those were like little moments that I took from it. I was like, yo, he got OP as fuck. Like,
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. It was crazy. And hey, he's called the Sorcerer Supreme for a reason. Like it's Sorcerer Supreme for a fucking reason. And it was just phenomenal. It just really the gravity situation. It really captured how serious this whole thing was. And again, for us to just finally see, like, all right, let's destroy universe. Let's show how far your actions take you. We're not going to intervene. We're going to let you continue. At least other situations, there have been a chance for safety, for someone to be a savior. Here, no, because you are the Sorcerer Supreme. You are the utmost, most powerful being in your universe. Especially since you consumed every other possible being that possibly could have been formed to fight against you. You ate them. You are them. It's just.
Yeah. It would have been even better for us to get like a longer moment of Christine being disgusted with him, because that would have just really probably drove him crazy. It's like, I went through so much to get you and you're just disgusted with me. Don't want to talk. That would have really been something amazing to see, but at the same time, I get it. Like, what I'm saying?
I think
she looked at him, what have you done?
Her fear and her final words of "what did you do?" and then fading into nothingness. That was all we needed from me personally. It's just like, what did you do? Even if you did it for me, like you've ruined everything. The world, the universe, life as we know it in this universe is gone, and it is now you left for the rest of your lifespan, however long that is, in this prism in nothingness.
Lost the love of your life. Also lost your best friend Wong. Was this all worth it? Lost all the people you've met along the way. I get it. You love this woman. I totally get it. But it's clear as day, this is inevitable. And again, it goes back to Strange is arrogant enough to I can't accept that. I absolutely can't accept that. So I'm going to do what I can to prevent that from happening. The definition of insanity is trying something over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. I mean, he finally got the different result, but again, was it worth it? I'm about to start singing Miss. Was it worth it? Let me work it. You're like, hey, that joke was crazy.
So, one thing that the differences that I noticed were like when he lost his hands, or what I'm saying, that was a reminder. Those scars on his hands was a reminder of humbleness. But him losing the love of his life, it just was like something was taken from me that didn't deserve to be taken from me. So his arrogance was still at a top-notch level, because it was like, I didn't do anything wrong to deserve this. Whereas when he lost his hands, it was like, okay, remember, like this is a humbling experience and stuff like that. So I definitely thought that episode was like dope. Just that little small dynamic of him losing the feeling in his hands to his wife is just so crazy how they're doing this. The what if thing is so crazy how they're doing it.
He also didn't have Mordo to tell him exactly, to remind him again just how dangerous it is to use the power of the dark dimension, right? Like he was missing all of these things. Yeah, I guess in this universe, he didn't need the Ancient One's help.
I mean, the Ancient One died a little early, and he only had the Ancient One in Wong on his journey, so it's just like, all right, because at the time, like, between losing his hands, because as it was mentioned before, there's a difference between losing your hands and basically what made you who you are, Doctor Strange as the premier surgeon, and then losing the love of your life, because they're both selfish. But at least one is you're thinking about someone else. It's still selfish because it's about your love and how it affects you. but at least you're focused on someone else. It's not like, yo, my hands, I got like, what am I? And now, I can do all this. I'm a god and all that stuff. But I did like that was a deviation. Not everything needs to run the same. We can have deviations, be fun with that. But anyway, if Mortal was there, he probably absorbed them too. Let's be real. So
who knows, man? But yeah, man, again with the hands, right? With his hands not being damaged, that was even more time he used to learn more magic, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that made him even more advanced from the Doctor Strange that we know in our universe. So that was a really cool change to that as well. This was a really, really good episode, man. Like, really, really dark. And it just makes me think, like, what is episode 5 going to be? Like, if we're just getting darker and darker, where is episode 5 going to take this?
And how many more episodes we got?
That's
3 more, right? 3 or 4 more?
Four more, right?
So I know.
I don't know what's going to happen after this. I don't know.
I know we get the Iron Man Killmonger joint.
Yeah, we still get that. We still have 3 more Black Panther ones.
The zombies. I'm trying to think of what other 2 we got. Zombies and then Iron Man Killmonger. That's it. That's the only one I know. Damn.
The Vision episode. We need Gamora. Gamora, and then there's a Vision episode.
So there's Gamora, Vision, Killmonger, What If Zombies.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. All right, well, we can expect the What If Zombies to not have a very happy ending, likely. It's just like, all right.
And a really fucked up beginning. Like, what's going to be the beginning to that episode? So it's actually 9 episodes, because Jeffrey Wright is on for 9 episodes. Yeah, so we got 5 more.
Oh, 5 more. Then I don't know what. Man, that's scary.
That episode, because the trailer had the episode where Captain Carter was talking to the Sorcerer Supreme. So I assume that episode is coming.
There's going to be some kind of team up.
Yeah. But hey, here's to hoping if we do see Strange Supreme, Dark Strange, in a future episode, here's to hoping that he learned his lesson. And not that he's like, hey, I'm here to take over your universe because I killed mine, so I'm going to adopt yours. Where's Christine at? Christine's dead in this one?
I mean, because do you think that Prism can hold him as strong as he is at this point?
Nah, I honestly, I think that Prism is not really like meant to constrain him. It's how he's going to survive, how he doesn't end up being erased, possibly. And so I think that the way we connect is that someone from a different universe probably tries to find a power source. And I mean, you talk about the ultimate battery, that's Dark Strange, and brings him into this world and releases him, and that's probably how we get him involved. But again, hopefully this man knows his lesson. He's like, all right, y'all in danger. Well, shit, I'm gonna do what I could do for myself. I'm gonna help y'all. And I'm not gonna be stubborn. And you asked me to reverse time. No, I can't do that. No, got the wrong. Put me back in my prism. Put me back in my sphere. I don't. You want me to mess with Tom? Can't do that. But we'll see.
So I'm looking at the IMDb. This is interesting. So Captain Carter is definitely going to be in 1 more episode. Captain America is going to be in 2 episodes.
Okay.
Hawkeye is going to be in 1 more episode. Tony Stark is going to be in 4 episodes. So he's going to be in 3 more episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. T'Challa is going to be in 4 more episodes. So I don't know if he's going to be in this next one, but it looks like he's going to be in the last 4 episodes, which I am all here for. So
definitely down for it. So
Okoye is going to be back. So Doctor Strange Benedict is only credited for 1 episode.
Okay.
Really?
So.
Yeah, and that's IMDb. It could be wrong, right? It could be a trick from Marvel, right? Like,
maybe that's a secret. They don't want to. They don't want to reveal that yet.
But he's only credited for 1 episode. Nebula's only credited for 1 episode. Yondu, Black Widow. So I mean, we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for the future What If episodes. There's a lot they can do. Like I've already said, like the one I'm most anticipated for right now is the Vision episode. I can't remember exactly who said it. You guys can remind me, but it's like, what if it's Ultron and he successfully transferred his consciousness into the Vision, and then he used his old Ultron.
It was either you or Ray who said
his armor. It was Ray then. Yeah. So shout out to Ray for that, because I mean that could be the what if. What if Ultron was able to transfer his consciousness into Vision, however they want to name it. I think that would be insane.
That would be crazy to see.
Because then we would get Age of Ultron at that point.
Yeah. And please.
Good
exactly. Give me a good Ultron.
The real Age of Ultron.
God, like, because hey, I kid you not, when them trailers dropped for Age of Ultron, I was on the edge of my seat. You know how many times I've replayed that trailer during the summer? And then just to see the movie and be like, what the hell is this? This is very different from the trailers. What did you get here? So I'm definitely looking forward to that episode.
Rob had a really good question. Sorry I missed it if it's been there a while. But do we think any of these What If episodes are going to transfer into live action at all?
Yes. Absolutely.
Which one?
Absolutely. It depends because we're gonna get secret wars at some point, so we are going to have to deal with multiple multiverses. So it's very possible we could get Captain Carter for sure in the live action MCU easily. I'm still holding out that the Prince Loki now taking over the world, becoming King Loki. We could get that in season 2 of Loki itself.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very plausible, and that's the whole beauty of it all. That's why I'm excited. That's why I'm so surprised that people can fix their lips and say that Phase 4 is mid. It's not well. Do you not see all the seeds being planted? All the table is being set for them to be real ambitious. I mean, watch Shang-Chi and see what they did with that and something and how they got to where they got to. Bro, we definitely gonna see at least a couple of our What If characters translated in live action for sure.
Steve, what do you think?
I think we'll get the Watcher for sure, and some live action stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure about anything else, but I have seen now there's theories that they're saying that this Dark Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange that's going to be in the No Way Home. They're saying that that's the one that fucking is the one that's giving Peter Parker the spell and things like that. And I'm like, all these theories, all these crazy theories coming up and stuff like that. So I have no idea. I definitely think we'll get the Watcher. As far as everything else, I don't know because there's so many characters that are already like off, like Iron Man and Captain America. They're already done. So we'd have to see what they have going forward to know if they're going to have anything else. But only one I can for sure think of is the Watcher. I think he'll definitely be in something live action.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see the Watcher, and I'm with Abe. I think we're going to see Prince Loki become King Loki, and that's the version that we're going to see in Loki season 2. If they don't, it's a serious missed opportunity, man, because that would be insane. It doesn't matter, right? Because it's an alternate timeline, so you can do whatever you want. Make King Loki the one from this universe. I think that would be absolutely nuts. Almighty, to answer your question, What If is definitely canon to the MCU. All of these What If stories are just different universes, and we're seeing them play out in animated form on Disney Plus. So yeah, they're definitely canon, definitely all connected, because even the last Avengers episode, the Watcher even talks about how in one universe we see the Avengers all together at the Battle of New York. So that's the universe from the MCU, bro. And then this is, that universe is what happens when they're all murdered by Hank Pym.
So
yeah. It's definitely canon. I saw a few people saying that they didn't think it was canon.
I mean, after Loki
Right.
should have been told you like, yo, now we have the multiverse, and now we're getting an animated. I think it was because it was animated. People thought like, oh, it can't be canon. It's like that don't matter. You're still giving us stories of the multiverse that we need, that you can do. I mean, how going the animated route for What If was very wise because it allows for, first of all, I can imagine it's cheaper than trying to do all of this live action. I mean, can you imagine trying to us doing the whole absorption scene live action?
Right. It would be absurd amounts of money.
Watching the Hulk explode
Yeah, like yo, come on. This stuff has to be animated, but again, it allows them to explore the multiverse without having to make films on it, without having to make a new series, like individual series. It's just like, all right, let's give it to them animated form. So don't think just because it's not live action. Some people don't think that means that it's not canon. It for sure is canon, and it could only have dropped after Loki. Could only have dropped. So all those was hating on Sylvie. Hey yo, y'all owe Sylvie apologies. Thanks to you, Sylvie, for doing what you did. You allowed this to happen. We appreciate you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You are an honorary member of the Council of Villains. I love you. I adore you. Call my line. We'll talk. All right.
And to answer your question, to your statement, I would love to see Captain Carter in the MCU. Like, Haley Atwell is definitely still signed on to do more stuff. I mean, she's voicing Captain Carter right now, so she's signed on from multiple things. It would make so much sense that at some point during Secret Wars, they bring her in as Captain Carter. It would make perfect sense. Why not? Why not take the opportunity to do it, especially when Steve's not around, right? And Abe, to your point, there's multiple reasons why you would make What If animated, right? It's cheaper because again, like shows like WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they were spending like 13-14 million per episode, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, how can you guarantee that you'll get all of the actors to show up to do all of these different things at the same time for like a 30-minute episode, right? So it just makes more sense to do it animated. And when we see these different things happen, it just looks better animated, right? Because
this episode would have been heavy CGI, and
right.
hey, I got a thing when it comes to too much CGI. It's just like, all right, you know, at this point you could have just went the animated route. Like you should have just like animated.
And it allows you to have those voice actors for those actors that didn't want to show. So Robert Downey Jr. is not Iron Man anymore. So now you have a voice actor to do that.
Plus, again, it's a different universe. So it's like you can have the flexibility. You can experiment with bringing people on and be like, hey, you know, how do they do with this one? How do the fans perceive them? Okay, bet. Like, let's bring that person in live action. If we decide to bring that character live action, they can still play that said character. I mean, you got to understand, we don't need all our actors to look the same. We can have different looking ones. I mean, they can still be T'Challa, you know, they can still be Robert Downey Jr. And it's easier to do that animated form without people being like, well, he doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr., so that's not canon. And it's like,
and I mean, the smart thing is they got the guy who's been voicing Tony Stark animated for like the last 10 plus years. So it fits.
It allows you to do that. Yeah, it allows you to do that. Because if you don't, if they force this to be live action, and Robert Downey Jr. literally says, no, I don't want to be Tony Stark anymore. Now you have to put someone else in that space. It just doesn't, it might not fit. So I enjoy voice acting and things like that. The cartoon animated wise, it makes it a lot better.
Yeah, man, it just works for a lot of different reasons. And I love it, man. I really hope that they turn some of these stories into comics and just like continue them, like just like 8 issues, 8-10 issues, just continue these stories, see where they go and just have some fun. Rob, the Russos did say if there's only one story that will get them to come back to direct a movie in the MCU, and it's Secret Wars, bro. We're heading down that path. No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, What If, these are all signs towards Secret Wars, bro. It's inevitable. It's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening.
I can't wait for the Beyonder. As soon as I see the Beyonder, I'm losing my shit, yo. I'm losing my shit. So,
okay,
so hoping that we see him soon.
Small spoiler, right, for No Way Home. There's no confirmation on this whatsoever, but toys were released that feature Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Now, does that mean that they're in the movie? I don't think so. I think I mentioned it on the last episode, but I think that moment when Strange is making the spell, it's a Speed Force moment where we're gonna see a bunch of different iterations from like the future. We're gonna look into different parts of different universes, and that's where we're gonna see them, right? I don't think they're actually going to be in this movie, but Secret Wars, That's something that they could do, right? Why not like bring in like Spider-Gwen, right? Because Spider-Verse is also canon. It's also part of the multiverse.
It is. Yes,
why not bring in Spider-Gwen, Silk, bro? Secret Wars, bro. It's going to be insane.
Look, man. Look, man. Yo, like. When you talk about one of my favorite stories, so in DC, my favorite storyline is story event is Blackest Night, and then is Dark Side War, right? And Marvel, it is Secret Wars, and then it's Civil War part number 1. But Secret Wars is just so dope and so crazy to me. Like it talk about a multiversal event. And how it's orchestrated too, because also with the aftermath of Secret Wars lead to Battle World and God Emperor Doom, and we love Doom around these parts. We love Doctor Doom around these parts. So
you guys have no idea. There's so much shit. Sam is saying it in chat right now. Madam Web. Can you imagine if we actually saw Madam Web on screen before Secret Wars? Madam Web and the Beyonder having a conversation right before Secret Wars. Dude, I would fucking lose it. I would lose it.
Yeah, like and to your point, like with the Peter Parker thing, with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, I agree. I don't think we're gonna see them much at all. I think it's gonna be a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene where they all three all of a sudden pop up and everybody's gonna scream in the theater and shit like that. Like they're not gonna be there in the entire movie. I promise you. I do not think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield is gonna be in the movie. Majority of the movie. I think it's gonna be like I said, with the pumpkin blowing up on the bridge, and then all of a sudden some web comes in and pulls Tom Holland away, and he saves him, and he's like, hey. It's gonna be something bullshitty, like last minute cliffhanger to be like, yo, and then it's gonna end. And I think that's what we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get multiple scenes of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is Peter's story. This is not the movie where you introduce a bunch of Sinister Six characters that he has to fight, learn a lesson, and also introduce 2 other Spider-Men. I don't think it makes sense. What makes sense is teasing it, right? Again, while he's working on that spell, we're going to see them. Whatever he does causes different versions of Doc Ock and Electro to come into our universe, right? So we're gonna get glimpses of them. I don't think this is the movie to do it. It would be way too cluttered, right? Now, that's something Sony would do.
They say it's a 2-hour and 30-minute movie so far.
I mean, yeah, because you have a lot to introduce, right? If we are correct, they have to reintroduce Sandman, Electro, Doc Ock, the Lizard. Like, there's a lot to reintroduce. You have to explain.
And the Sinister Six, so yeah.
Yeah, you have to explain how time is bending, how time space is bending. Like, how what does this do for Doctor Strange and his motivations going forward, knowing that he made this mistake? What does Peter learn from this? There's too much going on to bring them in and give them characterization in this movie. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you have look guys, you have William Dafoe. I mean, just the psychological assault he plans to,
oh my God.
He's not just gonna beat his ass. He's gonna come for Aunt May.
Yeah,
he's gonna come for MJ.
It's like, oh, this worked last time.
He's definitely. We gonna get that moment. We're gonna see moments where Peter is being mentally assaulted by Defoe's Green Goblin and likely Molina's Doc Ock too. So 2.5 hours sounds. I mean, to be honest, if you want to make it 2 hours 45 minutes, I ain't gonna say
give us the full
on the Blu-ray.
give us. Hey, yo, when that extended edition drops, if it's like 3.5 hours, if it's on some Lord of the Rings stuff, I ain't gonna be mad.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I definitely think that this is gonna be the best one, and I definitely think this is gonna be like an after credit scene or something like really quick, where it's like last minute. Hey kid, what are you doing over there? You're just gonna let it fall on you? Some bullshit where it's gonna be really quick, and then they're gonna get out of there. and that's how they're just gonna leave us on a cliffhanger, and then we're just gonna be wondering, shit, Tobey Maguire and fucking Andrew Garfield are right here. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Rob, it's not gonna get pushed back, man. I really don't think so. Like, with the estimates, the Shang-Chi's supposed to do Labor Day weekend, which is like north 90 mil. Oh yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine, bro. They're not gonna move, because if that can make this like 90 mil now, oh yeah, like December 17. Oh yeah, and it's a Spider-Man movie too.
Oh yeah,
they're not moving.
Holiday season, money being spent. Oh yeah. Because that one is also going to be dropped on streaming most likely, right?
Oh nah, that's straight.
No,
to
that's straight
theaters.
to. Oh
yeah, no streaming. Because I mean, they can't put it on Disney Plus, right? Because Sony technically owns it.
Oh yeah, that's facts. That's facts. So yeah, Spider-Man is going to surpass all expectations, even the tempered expectations that they have for pandemic box office numbers. It's going to do so well this year.
Spider-Man is going to be the most profitable film of 2021. I said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because right now, what's like the biggest films right now? F9 made like north of like 700 mil. I think that's like the biggest box office film of the year.
And keep in mind, Shang-Chi made more opening day than Fast 9 too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's,
so that already
it's
bodes
movie,
well.
Dude.
Yeah, that already bodes well for Spider-Man. Bodes well easily for Spider-Man.
Yeah, man. Like, there's so much great shit happening. Like, I saw the new Eternals trailer again.
Oh man,
on the big screen. I'm like,
yeah, it got me rehyped. I'm
dude,
like,
this could be sick. Have you seen the new
story.
Eternals trailer? Like the final one that they put out, Steve?
I only saw the one that we saw together. So there's a new trailer.
Like, there's a different version of the final trailer that I saw.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm probably going to see it when I go to
tonight.
Yeah, man, but it just talks about the snap and, like, how the snap bringing everyone back brought back the perfect opening for the deviants. And I'm like, dude,
what did they call it? The emergence?
Like,
they called it the emergence?
The emergence can begin. I was like,
hey,
that's
is the Beyonder coming? Is the Beyonder coming? I see this as a prime opportunity to give me a Beyonder cameo after credit scenes. I see it. I'm just saying, Eternals, don't disappoint me. You just gotta, if you just have a silhouette and then we don't discuss it for another 10 years, I'll be satisfied. Okay, I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, even Rob said it. The Eternals trailer in the theater, dude, it's insane. It's crazy good. I was like, this trailer is nuts. And getting to see the Celestials on the big screen, it's like, dude, this is gonna look really good in the movie. It's gonna look really good. We got some more looks at like how their powers work with like the matter manipulation and stuff like that. Absolutely sick. So yeah, I'm looking at the box office numbers right now. A movie named Hi Mom, I've never heard of it, but it's made 822 million worldwide, and then F9 made 704. So I think Shang-Chi's gonna clean house, and yeah, like Light saying, 1.5 billion for sure. I would say Spider-Man, I would say like maybe not 1.5, like 1.2, 1.3. Because it's still technically a pandemic, right? We still have to think about the Delta variant and all of these other shit. So I think definitely cracking a billion.
Help them. Worldwide is going to help it because worldwide, they've had a better handling of the pandemic for sure compared to United States.
Oh yeah, overseas, yeah.
Yeah, so overseas is definitely going to help. 1.5 is a big number, but I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Spider-Man can do it.
Yeah. And just think about how many times there's people like us that are going to see that movie 2-3 times. Oh, that's going to there's the thousands, millions.
I think you mean like 4 or 5 times.
Before we even get to Christmas.
There's millions of us that's going to do that. So Matt, that number, that's about right. 1.2, 1.5. That's about right.
Honestly, I already know I'm probably as soon as tickets are able to, I probably should just cop it in advance because I don't see like for Shang-Chi going to the theater today. I was actually surprised by the number of people that early on Friday for Shang-Chi. I could imagine if I were to be like, oh yeah, let me just go in the morning. on Friday it'll be good. Nah, it's probably gonna be an all day thing where people are just gonna be out in droves. So I'm definitely gonna have to reserve my tickets early. That's a fact. That's a bona fide fact. So
oh yeah, I have my reminders on. As soon as they drop, I will be getting my Dolby Cinema tickets. Like I don't play that shit. But yeah, man, like even Spider-Man 3 almost made $1 billion. Amazing Spider-Man 2 almost made $1 billion. Like these are films like in the 800-900 million range. Like Spider-Man always makes money. It doesn't matter. It's definitely cracking $1 billion for sure.
I have a question for you guys, and this is a question for our audience too. Where is your preferred seating when you go see a movie in theaters? For me, I like to be in the upper back row, somewhere near the middle. I gotta be. It's just my ideal seating.
For me, like 4 or 5 rows from the back, middle.
Yeah, I'm like in the middle. Like, so if there's like the flat surface and then they got the stairs, I'm literally like right there on the back row of the flat surface.
Okay,
like directly in the middle too. So if it's a handicap seat, I'm just gonna sit there. I'm sorry.
That's too close for me, bro. Like you can't get the full scale of the screen that close.
I like to be right there in the middle, like right there on the back.
I gotta have the wall at my back and somewhere in the middle of the theater seating, because it's just I can't be too close. Like I feel like I need the wide scope.
Yeah, man.
And knowing that it's just I gotta. Because
there's shit that you miss when you can't see the full scope of the screen from too far back. Rob, I believe you, because when I saw your picture on Twitter, you were at like the back right of the theater watching.
Yeah, yo, that upset me, Rob. I was like, not this man all the way to the side. I'm like, nah, I need to be, a bit more in. Like, that's too close to me. Unless the middle is taken, then okay, I'll move to the side. I was like, nah, I need to be in more. I don't want people coming close to me when they come up and down, and it's just like, put me somewhere in the middle.
Hey, at first it was villain shit, but now that I actually got me a handicap sticker, I can sit in the handicap spot.
Oh, not you taking advantage of the systems, Lord. Not you taking advantage of the system.
Not all handicaps are visual. So
that is very, very true.
So yeah, I definitely take advantage of that. Like I was like,
hey, not Bryce calling you out and then be like, I do the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I see. It was
like, but yeah, man, like I definitely enjoy it. I sit like literally right there in the middle. I don't know why. That's just my spot. But like if I'm sitting with a group of people, I'm actually easy going. So if I'm like where y'all want to sit, man, if y'all pick over there, then that's where we sit.
Yeah, I'm gonna drag you to the back middle, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't have no problem. I'd be like, all right, whatever.
You like, put me in the near the front, I'm cussing you out.
Yeah, it's just when I go by myself. Because when I go to the movies by myself, I'm like, all right. And it's like I don't have to worry about finding a group of 5 seats that's in the right area, or 4 or 5.
The
seats.
real villains are the ones who sit on the floor sitting near the front. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Those are monsters.
The first row, the people that sit on the first row,
they're monsters.
I did it one time. And it was all right. So I did it one time. It was a few years ago. I was in high school. I was on a date with a shorty, so clearly I wasn't there for the movie. I forgot. I didn't know. Oh, it was one of those animated films. I thought I was watching something else, but again, I wasn't focused on. I was focused on shorty. We were in the front. I'm like,
yeah,
this is terrible. I regret this. Ruined the whole date for me, honestly. Ruined the whole.
I went to see The Hangover 2 on opening night or whatever, and I had to sit on the front row because I walked into the theater late. So I was stuck sitting on the front row. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I couldn't see shit. Like I had basically a crook in my neck trying to watch the damn movie. It was awful.
Dude, I wanted to see Wonder Woman so bad opening night that we took seats in the very front row all the way to the left side. Ugh. And it was the worst viewing experience possible. And my girl and I literally walked out and left. It was like, you know what? We'll just fucking come back. Because there's no way that I can enjoy the movie like this. Like, front row all the way to the left. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, that is no way.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah,
Like,
I definitely like to be like directly in the fucking middle though. So like top middle, maybe I'll give it a try today and see how I go. Like let's see what it's like. But
please
I enjoy
do
it.
it. Do it for Shang-Chi, dude, because there's so much wide shots. There's so much
Yeah.
great cinematography. So much shit to see. Like, you have to see it as wide as possible, man. Like,
Did you watch Aquaman in theaters?
No.
But
I
did you
did.
see? Did you see Aquaman in general, Steve?
Yeah,
So
I did.
how aesthetically pleasing? I'm not. It's not as Shang-Chi isn't as vibrant really like that because Aquamarine life is very definite. But there is so much visually pleasing scenes that you want to be able to capture it all. You want to be able to capture it all. If you're too close and you miss something, like it's not. I don't think he'll fully take you out of the film, but
Mm.
why would you want to miss something that you paid for, right? So definitely, at least for this one, definitely take a seat that's further back so you can have full view, even if it's just a few rows up. You don't have to go all the way to the back
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I do,
yeah,
but
yeah.
even a few rows up, just have all of it in front of you. You're gonna. I'll probably still be awake when you finish seeing the movie because it's about what 2 hours
Yeah,
10, 12 minutes, I think.
yeah,
2 hours,
something like
12
that.
minutes.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'll still be awake most likely. So
It'll be 11. It'll be like 11 your time. So
oh yeah, I'll still
Yeah,
be
I
awake.
mean,
So you
yeah.
hop in the chat and we'll chop it up because that John is going to be you're going to like it. You're going to like it again. And the comedy itself, it wasn't forced to me. It wasn't forced.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Steve, if you're up for it, I would love for you to do a review. Like, there's no rush on it since we're gonna review it on Villains anyway. But I would love to have you do a review on the website. I think that'd be sick.
I'll do that. I gotta see what the fuck is up with my computer. I don't know why it just died on me, but yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. Rob, to answer your question, so the IMAX in Opry it's fine. Like, it's a big screen, but I don't like the seats, and I'm not a fan of IMAX sound. Right, like my preference is Dolby Cinema at Thoroughbred. That's the only thing that I go to. Like, unless it's not in Dolby, I only see films in Dolby. Like, I need Atmos sound. I need the speakers above me. I need the recliners. I need the sub in my seat. The transducers. Like, I need it all. I can't just do regular screenings. And IMAX claims that it's the most immersive experience, and it's fucking bullshit. Because the most immersive experience is actually Dolby Cinema. So if you want the most immersive experience, go see Dolby Cinema. That's how I saw Shang-Chi, even though the sound tonight was fucking atrocious. And I hope they fix it when I see it on Sunday. But yeah, Dolby Cinema every fucking time. Yeah, me is in the chat right now. Like, Dolby is above everything. Visually, audibly, there is nothing else better than Dolby.
Dolby.
Do you have a Dolby Cinema where you live, Steve?
I know we have an IMAX. I don't know if we have a Dolby Cinema. I'm
Okay.
actually going to go see IMAX today.
Yeah. And Breeze, I am an audio snob because if I'm going to pay my hard-earned money to go to the theater, I should
Rightfully
see
so.
my favorite movies in the best format possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob,
Me, I'm not
the
as
one in
picky.
Franklin.
I'm not as picky when it comes to mine, but most theaters tend to at least have Dolby now, and they usually have my preferred time anyway. Because again, I like. Oh, so another question: when do you like to go see your movies? Me, I like to go in the morning because I don't want other people with me when I go see a movie. I like being in a giant theater with as few people as possible, just enjoying the film.
That's my preference,
Uh,
but I usually end up going to like night screenings. But if I can avoid
Yeah.
it, like if I actually have a day off, I'll go at like midday or like 3. Like 3 today. I went today.
yeah, pre-COVID, it was more so like I would go see it like prime time, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, like those showings, just because I like. Not only do I like to enjoy the movie, but I enjoy interact with everybody else's interaction with the movie.
Mhm.
When everybody else screams and whoa and woohoos and all that bullshit. When they do that stuff, that makes the movie more hype for me as well too. But I do also go see them a lot at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon where there's nobody there, or matinee, just because they're more convenient. There's nobody there. I can get in, get out. There's no crazy parking, all this other stuff. I can go to the line, get popcorn and shit like that, and still get there to see trailers and everything before I see the movie. Whereas if I'm sitting in a popcorn line at 5, 6 o'clock, I'm not going to get to see the trailers pretty much. So I'm like, yeah, I enjoy more so 3 o'clock time just because of that's the one that I enjoy the most. But I do like the experience of 7 o'clock, just so going to see it with a whole bunch of people and things like that.
Yeah, because I love crowd reactions too, right? So the Suicide Squad was one of my favorite like theater going experiences recently, anyway, because everyone was just having such a great fucking time. Like everyone was laughing, having a great time watching this shit. I was like, I can't wait to see how people react when this one particular person dies. And then it happens, and it just the entire theater erupts. Like everyone was having a fucking blast, dude.
Yeah. So last question. Again, this is for the crew and definitely for the audience. What is your preferred theater snack? Whether you purchase or how we used to do back in the day, especially when you went with mama and whatnot, if you brought it into the theaters, what was your preferred snack?
So I refuse to eat or drink anything in the theater because it's distracting while I'm trying to watch the movie. If I look down at any point to do anything or look away to pick up my drink or to make sure that it goes back into the holder properly, no distractions. That's how you miss shit. That's how you miss Easter eggs. That's just me. My girl gets shit all the time. I can't fucking do it.
I'll feel it.
I fuck with popcorn. Like, even though like I do bring my own snacks, but the movie theater popcorn is like a must. I have to get the movie theater popcorn, even though I'm spending $7 on some shit that shouldn't cost $7.
Yeah, small
I get
popcorn.
The big bucket of, no, I get the fucking I get the fucking
it's $7 for the small one.
Right.
Yeah. So I get that shit. And then I get like a little Sprite or a Coke or whatever, or a fruit punch. And then I'll just sit there and then I'll dig in my pockets and get me some Sour Patch Kids out of there, things like that. But yeah.
So for me, JB, I'm similar to you. It's the reason why every time I go to theater, I make sure I've used the bathroom beforehand, because if I have to leave the theater to do anything, the movie's ruined for me. But, when I'm feeling a little rich, I love to get me some nachos, baby. I do love to get me some nachos.
Yeah, Mia loves the nachos. They're good. They are good.
For the most part, I'm like, hey, look, I don't need anything. I don't want to eat anything and possibly have to leave for a restroom. I don't want to drink anything. I'm here to stay here. And enjoy it for the whole time until the movie's over. But again, when I do feel a little rich, the nachos do be calling my name. They do be calling my name.
I'll be at the movie tavern every now and then. I'll go to the movie tavern and have a whole meal.
Hey.
Give me I get some sliders and like the whole cheese sticks and wings platter thing. I do that too. I'll go to the movie tavern. I remember, I'll never forget when we went to go see Inception. We went for my homie's birthday, and we were all buying him drinks, and he passed out during the movie, and it was hilarious. We were watching the movie, he passes out, and then he wakes up like 45 minutes. And he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "You might as well just watch it another time, bro." I was like, "Because you're not gonna know what's going on in this movie." But we were buying him margaritas and stuff like that at the movie tavern, and it was dope.
Shout out to Rob J. He says he loves he loves to get nachos too. Shout out to Team Nachos for sure. The large ices do be hitting. It's been several years since I ordered me an icy, because again, that joint just be going through your system, and I'm like, nah, I can't risk that. I can't risk just trying to go to the bathroom when
that's the other thing.
There's never a good stopping point.
I don't want to have to pee halfway through the movie. If I miss anything, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, bro. Speaking of Aquaman, right? I looked down for 1 second, and Mia's like, "Oh, there's Annabelle." I was like, "Where? Fuck, I missed it." So I had to wait until we saw it the second time, and then she's like, "Look, there she is." That's the shit I'm talking about. When you look down, you miss shit.
Half a second, man. And see, that's the thing. I usually go see like Disney movies and things like that, like Pixar stuff like that. I'll see that with my kids, and it never fails. We'll go to the bathroom before the movie. Halfway through the movie, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, impossible. There's no way you have to go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm like, fuck. and I gotta go. I gotta go with them. And it's just like that. I couldn't imagine taking them to like something where I wanted to see it. That's why I go to the movies by myself. Like I'll go by myself with nobody because there's no way you're gonna ruin this for me.
Oh yeah, Rob, bro. That's what I always bring short. I always wear shorts with deep pockets in my hoodies. And, you know, if
Cargo
I do
shorts,
decide
bro.
to bring something in, I got some stuff. Yo, I brought a whole like jug of water when I went to go see Cruella. I just had that joint in my pocket. I'm like, look, first of all, who's gonna stop me, right? You got this big dark-skinned black man going into the theater. Which one of y'all small individuals gonna be like, hey, sir, can you empty your pockets? No, you're not going to do
I'm about to say that. They make y'all empty your pockets when y'all go to the movie theater?
I haven't had that dealing so far in California or in Jersey, but I've heard stories.
Not that many people care, man.
Yeah, buy your ticket and walk in. And see, like I wear like clothes like this is an Echo shirt. Nobody wears Echo anymore. And there's like there's like this big, you see this big old pouch right here in the front. And that's where I put my candy at. I put my candy right here in this little pouch, like a little kangaroo pouch, and then I just walk in. Like nobody bothers you. Like you buy the ticket and you just walk in.
So, question for you guys: have you ever fallen asleep during a movie because it was just so fucking boring that you just fell asleep? So while you guys think, I'll go. Go ahead.
I was about to say I fall asleep because I'm old. And I'll thinking,
Steve, stop making us sound that old. We're not that old, bro.
No, like I fell asleep at like the midnight release back when they used to be like the late midnight release, 1 o'clock. Because now they release it Thursday at 7 and stuff. But a while back, you used to like have to catch the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. show. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, at 2 a.m. at least I'll get to see the movie and won't get spoiled. And then I'm falling asleep at 3:30. And I'm like, fuck, I missed the like last 20 minutes of the movie because I couldn't hold on anymore. So I fall asleep because of that. But I don't think I've ever fallen asleep because the movie was boring.
Nah, for me, hey, look, I'm paying for this shit, so I have to want to see it. But my biggest pet peeve is when I go with friends and they fall asleep. I'm like, not you coming here with me to B. It makes me mad. I'm like, who am I? Yo, if I go with friends, this is also why I just like going solo. If I go with friends, I need you to be alert so I can be like, yo, you peeked that? Like, oh, that shit was fun. When I look over at you, just like, all right, at this point, I'm looking at the movie and I'm pissed. I'm pissed for the rest of the day. I'm done. And most likely I'm gonna have to go see that movie again by myself. This is why I go to movie theaters by myself. But no, I've never went to a movie theater and was just like, oh, this shit is boring, and you know what, let me take it. When I went to see Fast 9, I was tired as hell. I was running on like 1 or 2 hours of sleep. I was like, please don't let me fall asleep. Fortunately, Fast 9 had so much action that gave me the adrenaline rush I needed. But I went with my best friend. 10 minutes in, she was knocked out. I was like, you know what?
And then they snore when they like, you like, are you snoring? Like, you really snoring?
That's also my fear about falling asleep because, you know, I snore sometimes. So I'm afraid I'm going to just be like, and then everybody's like, hey, yo, shut the hell up over there. I'm like, you know, if you got to take some crack or do something to stay awake, do what you got to do. You feel me?
I've only fallen asleep through like a big chunk of one movie, and that was Gemini Man, because it was absolutely fucking boring on every level humanly possible.
That was your mistake. All right, that's where you fucked up.
I was hanging out with my boys all day. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go see Gemini Man, because we actually found a theater that was playing it in 120 FPS. So it was like, fuck it. Yeah, like let's go, because we're only gonna experience this once. So then we go. Worst, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Absolutely fucking terrible. And I just fell asleep.
Yeah. Like I said, when my boy, we had him drinking all day for his birthday, and we went to go see Inception. And we were trying to explain to him what happened while he was asleep. But it's almost impossible to explain. It's like, bro, you got to watch the movie. Because he was like, it was the part where they were like in the snow and stuff. And then my homeboy looked at him. He's like, they're still in the van, and just looked at the screen. And my homeboy was like, what? They're still in the van? And I was like, he's fucking with you, but yeah, they are technically still in the van. And he was all like, no, man, what's going on? And I was like, bro, stop talking to me. You shouldn't have went to sleep. Like, so, but we were like, we definitely fucked with him, though. We were like, yeah, he's still in the van. And he was like, what do you mean they still in the van? We were definitely fucking with him. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, have you guys even seen Gemini Man?
No, because it didn't look interesting at all to me.
And
hey, I love you, Will, but nah, it was looking kind of corny.
Yeah, it was a waste of Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's such a great actress. Absolutely fucking wasted.
Yeah, I saw it on Hulu. It was very bad.
Yeah, great concept, but just a waste, man. I hope King Richard's good, because I haven't liked a Will Smith movie in a while, man. It's been a minute. Honestly, it's been a minute.
You didn't like Push? Like Push?
I did like what was the one that was on Netflix? Bright. I did enjoy it mainly because I was rocking with that one Migos song. That John was busting. The one they made, it was like Danger. Wait, I can't sing, right? All right, but anyway, there was that one Migos song. And I enjoyed the story, the plot of it, and I was like, oh, if they make a sequel, I'd definitely watch it. But it's been supposed to. Wow. Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, I like this. A lot of people. I remember the very first photo that they had where it was Will Smith and an orc in a police costume, and the entire internet was destroying this. What the fuck is Will Smith thinking? And blah blah blah. And then it turned out to be pretty good. So it was like, all right.
So like, I did like Bad Boys for Life. That was a good third movie to round out the trilogy. That was good. But besides that, let's see here. The last movie I've liked from Will Smith was 7 Pounds in 2008.
Whoa! So you didn't like Push? You didn't like Push, Aladdin,
Collateral Beauty, trash.
Collateral Beauty,
Suicide Squad, trash. Aladdin,
Suicide Squad.
Like
I enjoy Collateral Beauty.
I guess mine is Bright then. My last Will Smith movie I enjoyed was Bright.
Focus, trash.
Focus, not Push. I kept saying Push. Focus. Yeah, I like trash. Focus.
You can't do it. Trash.
I do hope that King Richard is good because the Williams sisters deserve a good movie. Although, you know, the kind of putting a heavy focus on their father itself is, you know, he was one of them parents, but based off the trailers, I'm like, look, this is their origin story. End of the day. Like, their father wasn't perfect, but he definitely played a huge role in setting them on the path in the trailer, because they showed a preview before another preview before Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I love Venus, I love Serena Williams. They are titans in women's tennis. I'm down to see a movie base that focuses on them and their family dynamic. I'm down for it.
Yeah, and this looks like Will, like, actually, like, true to form. Like, it looks like he's actually back. So I'm hoping, because I'm a huge Will fan, man. Like, I grew up watching Will. Like, who doesn't like Will Smith? But it's like,
which is why I'm not down for that Fresh Prince reboot. I'm like, nah, Will, you should never give your blessing. Just
we talked about this. Like, just make a new show with the same premise. Like, Fresh Prince wasn't the first show to do it. Like, it's the Black experience growing up. Like just make a different show, but intellectual properties, right? It's much harder to get a new show made than just redoing some shit that was made in the past and just updating it for today, right? What are you really updating? Like, the same shit he was dealing with is still happening right now. So just go watch Fresh Prince. And like, yes, you want more representation, right? You want more representation. That's enough to make a show, but why does it have to be a Fresh Prince like reboot?
Like, are you gonna have Megan Thee Stallion guest star? You know, I mean, are you gonna bring back Nia Long? Are you gonna bring back Tyra Banks? Like, you know, what is the draw? Because I'll tell you this, the Fresh Prince definitely had a beautiful Black woman in that joint for sure. No, I mean, I'm sure they will. The cast isn't gonna be the problem, but it's just like, yeah, the message, we get it. Just it's repetitive.
Make a new story. Give a new writer a chance to make their story and take their life experiences, which is what a lot of people do, and put it on screen. Like, why does it have to be Fresh Prince again, you know? But yeah,
I
man,
totally
like
agree with you.
we've
Yeah.
talked about a lot of different things tonight. I want to wrap up here so that Steve can have a little time to himself before he gets ready for Shang-Chi, because I want him to have a really good time watching that movie.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys give your plugs? Steve, I want to start with you. Tell the people where they can find you online.
Yeah, I'm Scuba Steve 1428 on Twitter and Instagram, and yeah, you can follow me.
Oh no, Steve's
Oh
frozen.
no, Steve, we lost you.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
Oh, you're frozen again. Oh,
Where's my voice?
nah, everything is freezing.
Yeah. Hold on, Steve. Abe, you go first.
Yeah.
Hopefully it clears up.
Yeah, so you already know who it is. It's Laburu himself, Anikulapo. You can find me on my Linktree. It's in the description for sure. Follow me on Twitter at Prince_Alawal. That is Prince_ALAWAL. That is also my Twitch. Osa and Abe podcast. You already know what it is. If you love sports and whatnot, follow the Osa and Abe Twitter account. That is OSA_Abe podcast on Twitter. It's football season, baby. It's college football season too, baby. So you go see me tweeting heavy. Follow Inside the Mind of a Blerd for sure. Head over to a Blerd shop. Head over to the YouTube. Definitely Anime Lately. Check them out. Careful for spoilers, obviously. Spicy Lady Gaming, obviously. Check Spicy Lady out on Twitch. I really appreciate all you guys done for us. Really appreciate all the support too. Shout out to Almighty Fish Mix. You know, he was one of our giveaway winners.
Yeah, man, appreciate
you. Yeah, you know, shout out to our previous winners before. We have a lot of good stuff brewing on multiple platforms, on multiple podcasts and brands, and I just appreciate all your support. You know, we really couldn't do it without y'all. Love the engagement on Twitter, especially because that's where I mostly hang out at. So just thank you. Love y'all. All right, maybe not love y'all. I enjoy y'all. I like y'all. You know, son of Darkseid can't be loving nobody like that. And like I said, yeah, you can find me in the descriptions for sure.
Steve?
All right, am I clear now?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can follow me at Scuba Steve 1428 on Twitter and Instagram. And like Abe said, follow the InMob page, and I can take you to the Linktree to all our other smaller brands and things that in there. Our YouTube page, our InMob shop, things like that, where you can buy merch such as socks and masks and things like that. And then you can follow our YouTube, and it's got my Knocker Mixer and Scholar and Scuba Steve. And yeah, man.
Yeah, what's the topic for this week's episode?
For which one? Scholar Scuba
For,
Steve or InMob?
Anyone, both.
For Scholar Scuba Steve, we actually ended up doing a crossover episode with Blaname for her birthday. And then for InMob this week, I believe they're doing a Gaming with the Blerd episode. So it's going to be a gaming episode. They're going to talk about the gaming con that came out. They're doing a review on the gaming thing that came out last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week. GameCon. But yeah, so that should be Bo, Danny, and Hydro should be doing that. But yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you go support these guys. Yeah, support these guys. All of their stuff is in the description box below. Huge shout out also to all of the patrons that showed up. Bryce is a patron in there. Lily, really appreciate you being here every single show, supporting us on Patreon. You're one of our highest paid patrons, so really appreciate you, everyone in chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you guys follow our Guardians of Yuna. They're on Twitch. They play a lot of Final Fantasy.
Shout out to Guardians of Yuna. Love them.
Yeah, so follow them for sure. Follow them on Twitter. Also follow who was I going to shout out next? Also follow Popaholics. I'm going to be on Popaholics' next episode.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yes, happy birthday, Chris. Happy birthday, bro. We're going to be talking Shang-Chi tomorrow. and then that episode should be going up on Wednesday. So that's going to be fucking dope. Make sure you guys follow Popaholics on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. They make amazing content. They have 2 podcasts every single week, Throwback Thursdays, and they put up videos on the YouTube channel every Sunday. So a lot of great creators in this space. Very appreciative for all of the creators that I am associated with in this space. So make sure you guys check out all of their content. But you can find me all over social media at JB Exclusive, of course, at C4 Spoilers. Head over to kevinforspoilers.com. You'll find links to the Patreon. Become a patron on there. We have a bunch of Best One Worst One episodes, over 30 episodes on there. The Vault has over 24 episodes from the Kevin for Spoilers podcast that you can only find on Patreon. The merch store, you can also find that through the website as well. So go ahead, support all of these creators, and yeah, we will see you guys on the next one.